Hello, everyone, and welcome to Chris's Collection. My name is Chris, and today we are playing The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker, which was the first Zelda game on no, it's fine, dude. I could just that's fine. Let's play. Um, which was the last game on. Oh, what should we put? There we go. J for my son. Anyway, so this was the first game of Zelda that came out on GameCube, and it was kind of like a mixed bag because some people they didn't really like this game because people when they first showed off that GameCube demo, where they showed off like 128 Marios and all that. They had this badass rendered cutscene that was using the GameCube's power that showed Link and Ganon fighting, and it was their Ocarina of Time designs. And people were like, "Oh, dude, that's the fucking Zelda game we need." And eventually they did get that with Twilight Princess, which was a Wii and GameCube release, and we'll get to that game eventually when we cover the Wii, because I didn't get the GameCube version, I got the Wii. But this was when they announced Wind Waker, it was this, and people were like, "It's a fucking cartoon." Looking back now, this game is actually fucking beautiful. And the HD remaster on the Wii U, which unfortunately I won't be covering because I got it digitally and I'm only covering physical games, was breathtakingly beautiful. It was incredible. So whatever, I think looking back, this game is actually really fucking cool. So I knew I was going to get it. I knew I was. I mean, it was the new Zelda, and of course I was going to fucking get it. And I love the game. I remember playing through it, and I was telling my friend Brian about it. I'm like, dude, I'm playing through Zelda. It's such a fucking great game. And I got to the part where you have to find like the pieces of the Triforce, and I think you had to use like the Tingle maps or something. And for whatever fucking reason, I could not get over that. I thought it was so fucking boring and annoying that I stopped playing the game. And then my friend Brian was like, "Dude, can I borrow the game?" Because he had a GameCube or a Wii, I can't remember. And I'm like, "Yeah, man, go for it." And so I lent him the game, and he played through it. And I remember he went up to me. He goes, "Dude, I beat it." I go, "You fucking beat it?" He goes, "Yeah, man." I go, "How was it?" He's like, "Fucking awesome game." I'm like, "Yeah?" And I go, "But wasn't that Tingle shit boring?" He's like, "The Tingle shit was boring, and it fucked up the game. But you know what, dude? I bit my lip. I went through it, and that game was fucking awesome." And I'm like, fuck, I gotta do that one day. So I kept telling myself, one day, dude, you're gonna go back, you're gonna play through this game, you're gonna fucking do it. And I did. I did eventually do it. But it wasn't the OG version, it was the HD remaster. When the remaster came out, I said, "Chris, there's no excuse. You're gonna fucking beat this game. And it's gonna look prettier." And it did. And I played through the whole game, and it did look prettier, and it was a lot more fun to play, and it was great. I had such a blast playing it, and it was so fun to do, and finally beat it, like have that like, oh, I did it. Yeah, I think it's a really great game. It's definitely not one of my favorite Zelda games. I don't know if I'm gonna sound like my favorite Zelda games is probably Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Breath of the Wild. I think those three Zelda games are just fucking awesome. Twilight Princess is really good, but as I get older, it's kind of aged a bit funny for me. I hated Skyward Sword, and Wind Waker. I think Wind Waker is better than Skyward Sword, personally. Like I thought it just the pacing was a lot better. But yeah, so that was my story, and I picked it up at the same place, of course, as I said in my last story about getting the Ocarina of Time bonus disc. Went back, and I'm like, I'm here for my game, and I bought it, and I took it home, and I was super stoked with it. And yeah, that is it, guys. Holy shit, that is the end of GameCube. We have covered all of the GameCube games. with this being the final one. So I was actually gonna say this is the last standard definition game that I'm gonna cover on Chris's collection, but I just realized the Wii was standard definition, and then I was gonna say, oh well, this is the last full screen game that I'm gonna cover. But then I remembered there's actually a handful of Wii games that, like, I know WarioWare, or not WarioWare. There's a Wario World game, Shake It, I think it was called. That was 4x3 for some reason, and it was progressive scan too. It was so weird. So anyway, guys, we are going to be entering the HD dimension for Xbox 360. Yeah, tune in for that later this week. We're going to be doing we're going to be entering the Xbox 360 world. That should be a lot of fun. And this is the end of GameCube. We'll be covering the next Nintendo console. It's going to be a while because we're going to do 360 next. And then PS3 came out after that, so we'll be covering PS3. 360 is going to be long. There's a lot of games I have, and PS3 is going to be pretty long too. So it is going to be a while until we get to the Wii, but we will get to the Wii eventually. That'll be the next Nintendo console. So we're going to have like all this HD stuff, and then all of a sudden we're going to go back to standard definition. That'll be really funny. Just like how it was when Wii was out. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will be back later this week with Xbox 360. We're going to start doing that. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Take care.